Microscopes Exploring the Microscopic World by Sumaira Agarwal
and Ritika Agarwal.
Guess the picture. What body organ has tissues that resemble this when viewed under the microscope? Write down your guesses in the chat box. At last of the PPT, we will tell you the answer. What is a microscope? A microscope is an optical instrument used to magnify and observe small objects or samples. They are not visible to the naked eye.
Origin of microscope. The Dutch spectacle maker Zacharias Janssen
is credited with making one of the earliest compound microscopes, one that used two lenses around 1600s.
Types of microscope. Light microscope uses visible light to illuminate the sample. Examples: compound microscope, stereo microscope. Electron microscope uses a beam of electrons to produce an image. Examples: transmission electron microscope, TEM. Scanning electron microscope, SEM.
Fluorescent microscopes use fluorescent dyes to highlight specific structures or molecules. Examples: confocal microscope and fluorescence microscope.
Objective lenses collect and focus light from the sample. Ocular lens magnify the image formed by the objective lenses. Stage holds the sample in place. Illumination provides light to the sample. Focus knob adjusts the focus of the microscope.
Applications of a microscope. Biology. Study of cells, microorganisms and tissues. Medicine. Diagnosis of diseases. Study of microorganisms. Material science. Study of material properties and structures. Forensic science. Analysis of evidence and crime scenes.
Advantages and limitations. Advantages: high magnification, detailed images, non-invasive. Limitation: sample preparation, force limited depth of field.
What is a cell? A living thing, maybe one of a cell, a uniquely organism, a many cell, a multicellular organism. Humans have about 37.2 trillion cells. Humans are multicellular organisms. Angora is an cellular organism. Discovering the cell. Who coined the term cell and how did he discover it? Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke coined the term cell in 1665. While observing plant cells, he marveled at how similar they looked to the cells in monasteries. At that time, Hooke was actually looking at the cell wall of cork cells.
How to use a microscope? If you have never used a light microscope before, this handy guide will explain how it's done. How to use a microscope?
Step 1. Turn the light microscope on. Move the mirror to reflect the light up towards the eyepiece and check that the aperture is wide open. Step 2. Turn the revelating nosepiece to the lowest object lenses is pointing directly down.
How to use a microscope?
Step 3. Place your sediment onto a stage. Step 4. Look into the eyepiece and slowly rotate the coarse adjustment wheel to bring the specimen in forward.
Step 5. Slowly rotate the fine adjustment wheel until you obtain a clearer image of your specimen. Step 6. Examine your explode your specimen, holding still or moving the slide slowly with your thumb.
How to use a microscope. Step 7. Last step. Once you have seen enough, switch to the medium and high power objective lens. Use a fine adjustment beam to bring the specimen into focus as necessary.
What are the things you would like to observe under a microscope? Tracing the path of light. Look at the diagram of a microscope shown here. Use your finger. Track the path of the rays light from the source to the eyes of the observer. In line with your answer above, why is it necessary for specimens to be very thin? Answer key. Tracing the path of light. Light rays go through the aperture to the specimen, to the objective lens, then to the eyepiece and get into the eye. But remember, light rays bend as they pass through the lenses, allowing the image to be magnified. The main idea of light microscope is for the light rays to go through the specimen, so specimen must be thin enough for the light to pass through.
Thank you.
Let's sum this by a lovely quiz.
Check the chat box.